lawful. It ought to be unlawful. What's that smell?
The footage you are about to see contains images of violence and degradation towards cars. Viewer discretion is advised for cars. Hi, this is Joey Onions coming at you with a pre-recorded fluff piece to try to boost the sagging ratings here on our network. One day last week, a particularly slow news day, the station manager sent me out into the field to conduct a human interest survey. What we found from this survey is that 9 out of 10 people are very unhappy when their automobile gets towed by the police department. In a similar survey, 1 out of 10 people apparently thinks have your automobile towed by the police department is a euphemism for have sexual relations with a woman. In both cases, the lone dissenter was this man, who told me that his name was Jimmy Mexico. Hello, I am your faithful news correspondent, Joey Onions. As you can see, I am outside on this beautiful sunny day. I am conducting a survey for our network. I've been standing here for 2 hours, asking people who walk by a question. Here comes somebody now. Excuse me, sir, would you mind if I asked a question for a survey I'm conducting for our network? Sure. Hey, is that a video camera? Hey, am I on TV? Hey, honey, look, I'm on TV. Yes, you are going to be on TV. Now the question is, are you very happy or very unhappy when your automobile gets towed by the police department? Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to go with very unhappy. Hi, honey, look, I'm on TV. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Oh, you're welcome. Bye, honey. Did you see me? I was on TV. Here comes another potential survey question answerer. Excuse me, sir. Would you mind if I asked you a question for a survey I'm conducting here on our network?
Sure. Go ahead. Ask me anything your manly heart desires.
The question is, are you very happy or very unhappy when your automobile gets towed by the police department?
Oh, definitely happy. Wink, wink.
And why did you say wink, wink at the end of your answer?
Because I know what you meant by have your automobile towed by the police department.
And what exactly did I mean?
You meant have sexual relations with a woman?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Exactly. Well, sir, thank you very much for your time. And for the record, would you please tell our audience your name?
Jimmy. Jimmy Sexual.
Well, thank you very much, Jimmy Mexico, for your time. Now back to you in the studio. Wow, that was kind of funny how I said, now back to you in the studio, and I was actually talking to myself. You don't see that every day. Anyway, with this pre-recorded news break-in, I am Joey Onions, signing off. Now back to your regularly scheduled broadcast. Good night. And now a word from one of our sponsors.
The functions are activated once the user is seated. Rear cleanse. Pamper yourself with Washlet's gentle aerated cleansing stream of water. Feel clean and refreshed every time you use the Toto washlet. Front cleanse. The angle of the stream of water is specially designed to ensure the most hygienic cleansing experience possible. The wand also automatically cleans itself before and after each use. Follow cleansing with a touch of a button for a mild air dry that can be adjusted to 3 temperature settings. The washlet's built-in air purifying system keeps your bathroom fresh during and after use. The soft close seat offers a smooth, silent close. The Washlet by Toto. Cleanse and refresh.
Out in Hawaii there's a pretty hula maiden, and though the county's Nupapulu over her, all day long they say, Ea, Wahine, away, Ea. And every night along the beach at Waikiki, she does the dance the Malahi is glad to see. When she starts to sway, oh, the natives say, Na pua ki alahe eina, ea ea, ea ea. Nui lo aroa pala, ea ea, ea ea. Away, vahine, open away, oh no. Away, vahine, Nonika away.
Story minutes are minutes in which I tell you a story. Story minutes are minutes in which I tell you a story.
Now, I'm not sure when this story is going to air, but it's currently the middle of winter. There's about a foot of snow on the ground that's been there for the past week because the temperature has not really gone above freezing for more than about 15 minutes. So I decided to go out to Coney Island to shoot some video that I've wanted to shoot for a while. I took the train out there, walked out to the boardwalk, which was virtually deserted, set up my camera, set it up so it would record on its own, and then sat down on a bench to wait out the hour that I needed to wait for the video to be done. I had intended to read, but for some idiotic reason I don't have any gloves, and it was just too cold to hold a book sitting there in the, with the constant wind from the water. It was just too much. So I essentially sat there with the hood of my parka up over my head, sitting there huddled over, watching my watch, waiting for the hour to be up so I could get the hell out of there. So I was sitting that way for about 20 minutes when, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed this rather heavy-set, Middle Eastern-looking man kind of slowly make his way over to me. And he sort of looked out at the water, maybe kind of making pretend that he didn't really notice me or something. And then he shook his head and kind of said out loud, "This is too much." Then he looked at me and I said, "What's too much, the cold?" He said, "Yes, it's just too cold here." I said, "Yeah, it's pretty darn cold." Then he looked at my video camera, which was set up next to me, and said, "Is video your hobby?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a hobby of mine." And he said, "My hobby is steam trains." And I said, "Steam trains?" He said, "Yes, little steam trains." And I said, well, that's good for you. And then he said, could you get a shot of me? And I said, well, the thing is, I have to leave my camera in exactly that position, otherwise it'll ruin, the work I've done for the last 20 minutes, and I don't really want to do that. So, unfortunately, I can't really take a picture of you. And he said, I see. Well, do you have another camera? And I said, yeah, I do, actually. And in my head, I was thinking, what's going on with this guy? I kept looking at all my things to make sure that everything was still there. I kept occasionally feeling my pocket to make sure he hadn't pulled some kind of super invisible pickpocket trick. But my wallet was still there. So I pulled out my digital camera, and, he kind of leaned against the railing, posed. I took his picture. And he rushed over and he said, let me see, let me see. So I showed him on the little viewfinder. And he said, that's very nice, that's very nice. Could you get one that's a little bit closer? So I said, okay. So he leaned against the railing again. I aimed, took the picture. And he rushed over, let me see, let me see. So I showed him again. That is very, very nice, he said. But could you get one that's just my face? So I said, okay, no problem. So I put the camera, zoomed in very close to his face, took the shot, he rushes over, let me see, let me see. So I showed him, oops. Sorry, man, I cut the top of your head off with that one, let me try it again. He went back over, and this time he starts singing. La, la la la, la la. I take his picture while he's singing. He rushes over. Let me see. Oh, that is a very good picture. I'm a singer. I need it for my album cover. Can you mail it to me? So I said, sure. I took out a notepad and said, here, write down your email address for me. I'll send them to you. And he said, I don't have an email address. I'll give you my mailing address in Pakistan. I'm Pakistan. I'm a refugee. I may be moving back there. I'll give you my address there. I need these pictures for my album cover. I'm a singer. So I said, okay, well, write your address down then. So he jots his address down, gives it back to me. And I look at it, and immediately I can tell that it's illegible. But I don't say anything because I never really planned to mail him the pictures anyway. So I say, okay. He says, you will mail the pictures to me. I said, yes, no problem. He said, thank you. And it was quiet for a little while. He says, do you have a girlfriend? I said, no, actually, I'm wrong. He said, do you have a wife? Are you married? And I said, no, I'm not married. He said, you have a girlfriend? I said, yes, I have a girlfriend. And he said, I don't have a girlfriend. And I said, well, if you're a singer and you keep doing concerts, then that'll probably change. And then he looked at me and he said, I don't like girls. And I said, oh, I see. Then he says, yesterday my landlord told me I have to leave in 2 days. This is very short notice. I said, yeah, it's the middle of winter. Why is that? He said, I have not paid the rent. I said, well, it's cold outside. Why don't you pay the rent? Then he said, I do not have the money. I said, well, I'm very sorry to hear that. He said, it is a very difficult time for me. I said, I'm very sorry to hear that. Then it was quiet for probably about a minute. And he says, can you help me? And I say, well, what exactly do you mean? And he said, maybe you can let me borrow money, and I will give you something in return. Then the light bulb went off above my head. This guy wants to pack my Astani. I don't know if he was telling the truth or lying about needing money to, pay the rent, if he was even Pakistani at all, but he wanted to pack my Astani. So he was Pakistani to me, that's for sure. But I stayed calm and I said, "No, I'm sorry. I can't help you." And he said, "No?" And I said, "No." Then I was wondering, how I was going to get rid of this guy. But to my utter amazement, he kind of just skulked away. Every now and then he'd look back at me, and I was kind of just watching him go to make sure he didn't kind of double back and come up behind me and hit me in the head with something, since there was really no one around to have witnessed it anyway. I wanted to be careful. But nothing like that happened. He just kind of skulked away, probably to try to find some other, guy sitting by himself to see if he could pack his Astani. But that's another story entirely, and one that doesn't involve me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my Coney Island wintertime story, and I'll see you next time.
Story minutes are minutes in which I tell you a story. Story minutes are minutes in which I tell you a story.
Oh, it's been a long day. This is Joey Onions signing off.
Wing, 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 wing. Wing, 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 wing. Wing, 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 wing. Have sexual relations, sexual relations, sexual relations. Wing, sexual, 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 sexual. Sexual, 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 sexual.
Phew.
Fuck.